everyone, it's Rachel, and this video is going to be a new kind of series of challenge video where I use a spinner to decide the colors that I'm going to be using on some polymer clay charms. So to actually make this a challenge, I'm only going to be spinning 3 colors, and they are the colors I'm allowed to use on the charm. Because I am kind of making this up as I go, I am allowed to use different shades of that color on my charm, as well as black and white as well, just so there's a little bit of variation and I'm not completely, stuck for an idea. I want to be creative. So here's what the spinner looks like, and these are the colors I've gone for. There's pink, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, gold, silver, black, white, and brown. So let's get started. These are going to be the colors on the first charm that I'm going to be making. So I'm just going to spin the spinner, and my first color is orange. The second color is going to be yellow. Okay, at least they're beside each other on the color wheel. And the final color for this charm is going to have purple. I feel like we started off really well with the yellow and orange, and then just kind of threw purple into the mix and made it really difficult. So let's see how we go.
So my first thought when I spun the orange and yellow was to make something tropical, like a tropical fruit or something along those lines that would be really simple to make. But then of course the final color had to be purple. So I had to create something else where I could easily bring in a shade of purple. So after lots of thinking, I finally settled with a little lion charm, which of course works really well with the orange and the yellow. So to make the lion's body color, I actually mixed a little bit of my orange into my yellow just to darken the color slightly and make it a little bit more warm toned. So the purple is going to be coming in through this charm through the middle part of the ears, which is actually a really light purple. It does kind of look like pink, but I promise you it is purple. And then I'm also going to be adding like a little bow tie to the lion to make him look very sophisticated and proper. I just added a little happy face using my black polymer clay, and then here I'm adding the legs so that the lion looks like he's in a sitting position. I was actually picturing this little lion charm to be like a baby lion, but I am going to be adding a mane, so I guess that wouldn't really make sense because baby lions don't have manes. Again, I mixed my orange and yellow colors just to soften this orange a little bit because the original orange I had was quite vibrant and obnoxious, so I just wanted to tune it down a little. Here I am busy rolling small pieces of clay into balls, and then I went ahead and I shaped them into little triangles, which I'm then going to attach around the face for the mane. Then of course we have the little bow tie. I'm going to be using 2 shades of purple for this, a lighter color purple for the actual bow, and then for the little crease kind of parts, I'm using some darker purple strips of clay. Then once the little bow tie was attached, all I needed to do was finish it off, was add a tail, and then bake it in my oven. So here's what my little baby, also not baby lion looks like once it's completely finished. It's very different from what I was originally planning to do, but I do like the way that it came out, and that I was of course able to use all the colors that were selected by the spinner.
Okay, moving on to the second charm. My first color that I need to include is... oh, that's right on the line. Oh, okay, we've got purple again. The second color is going to be green. And the final color going with the purple and the green is going to be green again. I think I deserve a respin. Okay, again, the third color is going to be, come on, something different. Brown. Oh, okay. All right, that's all right.
So after hearing that this charm was going to have green and brown, my mind instantly went to a foresty, woodlands kind of themed charm. So I thought, well, what about a tree stump or a log, and throw on some purple mushrooms. I did then think that that was a little bit basic, so I wanted to put a character into it somehow, and I thought that I could add one of my little fawn charms. That idea then changed to a cat wearing a fawn costume, and then not just any old costume, a purple fawn costume, but then somehow we also added a little acorn in there as well. So these are the brown, purple and green colours of clay that I have prepared to make my crazy creation. I'm beginning by taking a darker chocolate coloured clay as well as a hazelnut, and I'm just mixing the two together to create the colour that I would like my log to be. I'm then rolling the clay into a cylinder and using a large ball tool to put some indents in each end, and this is where I'm going to be adding the inside rings of the tree. So to do this, I'm just marbling some hazelnut and tan coloured clay, and then I'm adding these to the ends of the log. I'm also using a needle tool to add some texture. To create the purple of the fawn onesie, I'm mixing these three colours of clay so that I have this muted periwinkle kind of colour. I created an indent in the front of this, and this is where I'm going to be adding in the white clay for the cat so it looks like its little head is peeking out. I've then gone ahead and I added a little face as well as some ears using two different shades of purple. It was then time to begin adding the dressed up cat onto the log, so I attached on some little legs as well as the body and then finally the head. I've created a little acorn using some brown clays, and I'm adding the two front legs so that it looks like the cat is holding onto the acorn. Then of course I had to incorporate some green clay into the charm somewhere, so I added some little leaves to my tree log. After adding some final details to the fawn costume, I then finished it off by adding on those little purple mushrooms to the side that I originally planned, and then I didn't know if this was cheating or not, but I also added some shading using a chalk pastel, but I did make sure it was a purple chalk pastel to match with my colour limits. So here's what my figurine looks like after baking once it's all done. My imagination did definitely go a little bit crazy with this creation, but overall I love the way that it turned out, and I definitely never would have thought to make something like this if it wasn't for my colour restrictions, so I guess it paid off in the end.
And now finally, we've got the colours for my very last charm that I'm going to be making. So the first colour I need to use is gold. Okay, I haven't had that one yet. The second colour is yellow, very similar to gold, okay. And the final color is, please give me some light variation. Oh, pink. Okay, I can do something with that.
So when I spun gold, yellow and pink for my last charm, I instantly got like a Princess Peach vibes from those three colours. Of course though, I didn't want to just make a Princess Peach charm because number one, that idea's already been created, and number two, it wouldn't have been very creative of me. In saying that though, I am actually going to be making a Princess Peach inspired charm, and this is going to be a cupcake. While a cupcake isn't the most crazy thing that I probably could have come up with, I did feel like the colours that I was given work really well for a cupcake. So you just saw me creating a pink glittery base using my cupcake base mold, and then I combined some vanilla colored clay with some gold clay to create the color of the actual cake part. Usually I would shade my cupcakes using some chalk pastels, but I didn't want to add too much color using something that wasn't actually polymer clay because I felt like it kind of defeated the purpose of the challenge. With my black clay, I added a little kawaii face to the cupcake, and then here I'm creating a mixture of light pink clay, and this is going to be the icing or the frosting on top of the cupcake. So I'm going to be using my piping tip to create the texture of the icing, and you also saw me just put a little bit of corn flour on the clay so that it doesn't stick to the sides of the metal piping tip. To make it look all twirly and pretty, here I'm just twisting my clay to give it a swirly effect, and then I just position that on top of my cupcake into a nice big blob of icing. Like I said, this is going to be a Princess Peach inspired cupcake, so of course she needs a little crown. I've got my gold polymer clay which I rolled down onto my work surface, and then I'm creating the shape of it by cutting out some little triangles using my blade. I blended the edges of the crown together, and then I just sat that very delicately on top of the clay. Lastly, to add a little bit more detail, I'm rolling out some white polymer clay, and I'm going to be making some little white sprinkles, which I originally made to represent the pearls that I thought Princess Peach was wearing around her neck, although upon further inspection, she is actually not wearing any pearls at all except for her earrings, which are actually blue. So I'm not entirely sure where I got that idea from. Maybe I was thinking of like Lisa Simpson or something. Anyway, once I had done that, I just popped my cupcake out of the mold, and then here is what the finished design looks like. Like I mentioned, I already know that this is not the most extravagant idea, but I do like how it came out and that I was able to use all of the colors successfully on the charm.
So that is everything that I have for this challenge video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for lots more crafty videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!